Morning students, today we are going to learn about the new topic in plant classification, that is angiosperms. Angiosperms. Yesterday we had learned the pteridophyte and gymnosperms. So that slide also one more time I show that. As the time over I didn't show that properly. So that also one time see that. Last time we had learned the pteridophytes and the gymnosperms. Pteridophytes. Pteridophytes. Already theory we had learned in the last session. Slide I show, but one more time see that. They include horse tails and fawns. In pteridophytes, two types of organisms are included: horse tails and fawns. They are found in cool, damp, shady places. Some flourish well in sandy soil conditions. Evolutionarily, they are the first terrestrial plants to possess vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. Evolutionarily, they are the first terrestrial plants to possess vascular tissue. That is important. Up to the plants up to bryophyte and all, up to pteridophytes are not having xylem and phloem. So this is the first plant group which possess vascular tissues, xylem and phloem. In bryophytes, the dominant phase is gametophyte, but in pteridophytes, the dominant phase is sporophyte only. It is differentiated into true root, stem and leaves. Here see that roots, stem and leaves. Two true root, stem and leaves are there. True stem, leaves and roots are there. These organs have well differentiated vascular tissues also. That already learned. Xylem and phloem present. The leaves in pteridophyte are small. That is microphyll, like that small also can be there, and large as in ferns also. This is fern only. Large leaves also possible and small leaves also possible like this. Large leaves are called macrophylls and small leaves are called microphyll. So some plants, some ferns having medicinal value also. These all are the medicinal value plants only. Bracken fern, ostrich fern, rattlesnake fern. These all are medicinal purpose, and some are ornamental ferns only. Asparagus fern, Diopteris erythrocera, actinopsera. They are used as soil binders. Soil binders means their roots are fixing the soil, so avoid soil erosion. They are grown as ornamental. Decorative plants are also there. These all plants are using as decorative also. So medicinal purpose, binders and ornamentals. The sporophytes bear sporangia. Sporangia is a bag-like structure in that spores are seen, that are subtended by leaf-like appendages called sporophylls. These are sporophylls. Leaf-like appendages are there. They are called as sporophylls. And sporangia is the bag-like structure. This is sporangia, seeing under the leaf only. Sporangium is the bag-like structure. Sporangia plural and sporangia singular. So sporangia seeing the leaf-like structure, sporophyll. And in some cases, sporophyll form distinct compact structures. In some cases, sporophylls form distinct compact structures called strobilae. Strobilae or cones only. Strobilae or cones. These are strobilae. Strobilae is their cone-shaped structure. In some cases, sporophylls form distinct compact structures called strobilae or cones. Example, Selaginella and Equisetum. Strobilus singular and strobilae plural only. Three are there now. So plural it is so strobilae. One only there, then strobilus. Cone-shaped structure, strobilae or cone-shaped. Sporangia produce spores by meiosis in spore mother cells. The spores germinated to give inconspicuous, small, multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophytes called prothallus. Sporangia produce spores by meiosis in spore mother cells. The spores germinated to give inconspicuous, small, multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophytes called the prothallus. It is called the prothallus only. This structure seen here. Inconspicuous means not prominent. Small, multicellular, free living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophyte called the prothallus. Prothallus requires cool, damp, shady places to grow. Also, it needs water for fertilization. So, the spread of pteridophyte is limited. So, the spread of pteridophyte is limited and restricted to narrow geographical region only. Prothallus requires cool, damp, shady places. It is growing in cool, damp, shady places only. So, it is seeing in that, like that area only. So, its growth is restricted in that area. The gametophytes bear male and female sex organs called, here male sex organ antheridium is there. This is the gametophyte. The gametophyte bear male and female sex organs called antheridia and archegonia and respectively. Antheridia and archegonia respectively. Water is needed for the antherozoids. Water is needed for the antherozoids to the mouth to archegonia. Through water only, this antherozoid, that is the male gamete, is reaching to the female gamete, that is archegonia. Inside the archegonia only female gamete is there. So along with the water current only, this antherozoid, that is the male gamete, is reaching to the female gamete. So water is necessary there. Sporophyte. Spores are there, gametophyte, sperm and egg are there. So water is needed for the antherozoids to the mouth of archegonium. Antherozoid fuses with the egg in the archegonium to form zygote. Sperm and egg fuses together to form the zygote. Zygote develops to a multicellular, well-differentiated sporophyte. Zygote develops to a multicellular, well-differentiated sporophyte. This is the sporophyte. So, spores starting to spores. So, gametophyte, this is the prothallus. Here, both gametes are there. Male gamete is producing by male gametophyte and female gametes are producing by female gametophyte. So, sperm and egg are forming. Sperm are producing by male gametophyte and egg are producing by the female gametophyte. Both of them are fused together to form zygote. Zygote. From that, zygote is starting to grow as a sporophyte. Sporophyte is producing spores. Spores starting to grow to gametophyte. Prothallus requires cool, damp, shady places to grow. Archegonia respectively. Most of the pteridophyte produces similar kinds of spores, homosporous plants only. Others produce two kinds of spores. Some are large spores and small spores are producing. So they are heterosporous. If the plant is producing spores with the same size, all the spores are of the same size, then it is called a homosporous plant. If it is producing different type, then it is called a heterosporous. Heterosporous, elaginella and salvinia. Here two types of spores are seen. This is the microspore and macrospore. Microspore small in size and megaspore large in size. But some plants like producing homosporous plants means all the spores are of same kind. The megaspores and microspores germinate and give rise to the male gametophyte respectively. The female gametophytes are retained on the parent sporophyte. Male gametophyte only detached. The female gametophyte are retained on the parent sporophyte for variable periods. Within female gametophytes, zygotes develop into young embryos. Zygote develop into young embryos. This event is a precursor to the seed habit. It is considered as important step in the evolution. So this question is also important only. Homosporous means all the spore are same size only. Heterosporous means some are small in size and some are large in size. Elaginella heterosporous. And here male gamete is detached from the parent plant and flowing through the water, but female gametophyte is staying inside the plant only, sporophyte only. Fertilization is taking place in the plant itself. This event is precious precursor to the seed habit. It is considered as an important step in evolution. So this cycle is also shown there. Cycle is also shown there, and it is divided into 4: Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Synopsida, and Pteropsida. And now gymnosperms. Gymnosperms, naked stem. Gymno means naked only. How naturally the seeds are covered with the fruit only. Here seeds are naked only. That envelope is not there. Naked seed only. See that gymnosperm. And angiosperm is covered with the fruit. One outer covering is there in the angiosperm, but that type of covering is not there in the gymnosperm. Seeds are naked, not enclosed by ovary wall. They include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs. The gymnosperm, Sequoia is the tallest tree species. Sequoia is the tallest tree species. Spinous roots with the mycorrhiza. The roots are generally tap roots. The roots are generally taproot only. Roots in some genera have fungal association. Fungal association. This is the fungal association. This white color, that is fungus only. So that is called the mycorrhiza. 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 The root of the plant is in fungal association. This white color is of fungus. This association is mycorrhiza or spinous. And in plants like cycas, small specialized roots are associated with nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria. In plants like cycas, small specialized roots. Here see that this is fixing nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria is seen here. This diagram seen. In plants like cycas, small specialized roots are associated with the nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria. See the nitrogen-fixing cyanobacteria. These nodule-like structures are seen there. Stems are unbranched or branched. In some stems are here, see the stems are branched only. Some stems are branched, like in unbranched or branched. Stems are unbranched or branched. Leaves are simple or compound. This is simple leaves and this is compound leaves. They are well adapted to withstand extreme temperature, humidity, and wind. Leaves are simple or compound. They are well adapted to withstand extreme temperature, humidity, and wind. In cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. In conifers, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. The needle-like leaves, see that, reduce the surface area. Leaves are needle-like only. So surface area reduced, then what will be happen? The loss of water through transpiration become minimized. The loss of water through transpiration is minimized. To reduce the surface area, their thick cuticle and sunken stomata also help to reduce water loss. Gymnosperms are heterosporous only. Gymnosperms are heterosporous. Heterosporous means some spores are large in size and some are small in size. Gymnosperms are heterosporous. They produce haploid microspores and megaspore. Microspore also there, megaspore also there. Some leaves are modified into sporophylls and megaspore. Microsporophylls where sporangia in which spores are produced. Sporophylls are also two types, microsporophyll and megaspore. Microsporophyll and megaspore. They are arranged to make strobilus, microsporangia. They bear microsporangia. Microsporangia only seen here. Cycas. The microspores develop into male gametophyte. It is highly reduced and confined to only a limited number of cells. It is highly reduced and confined to only a limited number of cells. This gametophyte is called a pollen grain. This gametophyte is called a pollen grain. The confined only to a limited number of cells. The pollen grains are developed within the microspora. This is pollen grain only seen inside the microspora. Pollen grains. They are arranged to female gamete. They bear microsporangia. Megasporangia mainly consists of a body called a nucellus. This diagram, nucellus. It is protected by integuments only. These envelopes are called integuments. Nucellus is there. This is nucellus. And it is protected by integuments only, nucellus and the integrals. The megaspore mother cell is differentiated from a cell of the nucellus. Megaspore mother cell undergo meiosis to form 4 megaspores. First it forming 4 megaspores. One of the megaspore enclosed within megasporangium develop into a multicellular female gametophyte. That bears 2 or more archegony. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within the megasporangium. Multicellular female gametophyte that is also retained within the megasporangium. It is not coming outside. The male or female plants may be born on the same tree or on the different tree also. The male and female can be grown on the same tree also, or it can be on separated tree also. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes in gymnosperms, the male and female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes in gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophytes do not have an independent free-living existence. They remain within the sporangia, retained on the sporophyte. The pollen grain releases the microsporangium and in air currents and meet the opening of the ovule. So, just reaching to the opening of the ovule, the pollen will be carrying the male gametes into the archegonia in the ovules and discharge their contents near the mouth of archegonia. Here, pollen tube is going towards the archegonia. You can see in this diagram. This is archegonia. Pollen grain are coming on the mouth. This region, mouth of the archegonium, then growing pollen groups are growing towards the inside, like this, growing towards the inside. See, after fertilization, zygote develops. Fertilization taking place, as a result, zygote will be developed. Zygote develop into an embryo and the ovules into the seeds. Now we are going with angiosperms. Angiosperms means the plants seeing around most of them are angiosperms. So flowering plants only. Dicotyledon. Have 2 cotyledons in seeds. The reticulate venation in leaves only reticulated venation. This netellate venation is called the reticulate venation. Reticulate venation we will learn afterwards also. But this netellate venation is called reticulate venation. Tetramerous. Tetra means 4 petals are there. See, 4 petals only there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 petals are there. So tetramerous. Otherwise 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentamerous. Tetramerous or pentamerous. 4 or 5 members in each floral bud. Exceptionally large group of plants. They range in size from tiny, almost microscopic wolfia to tall trees of eucalyptus. Angiosperms. They range in size from tiny, almost microscopic wolfia. This is microscopic wolfia to tall trees of eucalyptus. Wolfia seen there. Smallest one is wolfia and tallest one is eucalyptus. They are divided into 2 classes, dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Dicotyledon you already told that. Now monocotyledon have only 1 cotyledon. Parallel venation in leaves. You see that this is parallel venation. One vein is parallel to the other. Trimerous. 3 petals are only there. 1, 2, 3. Trimerous. 3 members in each floral bud. All are 3 only. Stamen also see yellow color. That also 3 in number. All the floral balls are 3 in number. So it is divided into angiosperms are divided into dicotyledon. Dicotyledon means 2 cotyledons. You can see here 2 cotyledons are there. Reticulate venation in leaves of tetramerous or pentamerous. Opposite difference between angiosperm, monocotyledon and dicotyledon. Have only 1 cotyledon. Parallel venation in leaves of trimerous flowers. And flower is the reproductive structure. Male sex organ in flower is the stamen. Each stamen consists of a filament with an anther at the tip only. This is stamen. Stamen. This is the filament and this yellow colored portion is the anther. Two portions are there, filament and the anther at the tip. Within anthers, the pollen mother cell divides. This is pollen mother cell divides by meiosis to produce microspores, which matures into pollen grain. First microspore, then microspores develop into pollen grains. So, anther, within the anther, two structures are there, filament and anther. Androecium stamen consists of a filament with the anther and the filament. In that anther, the pollen mother cells divides by meiosis to produce microspores which mature into pollen grains. Female sex organ in a flower is the pistil. This is the diagram of pistil. This was the diagram of stamen only. This is the diagram of pistil. Three portions are there: stigma, style, and ovary. Stigma, style, and the ovary. Inside the ovary, ovules are there inside the ovary. Ovules are there inside the ovary. Female sex organ in a flower is the pistil. It consists of a swollen ovary at its base. It consists of a swollen ovary at its base, a long slender style and stigma. Ovary contains ovules. Ovary contains ovules. An ovule has a megaspore. An ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form this one. Meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspores. Here you are seeing 4 haploid megaspores. See, 4 haploid megaspores. So an ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspore. 3 of them degenerate. From these 4, 3 are degenerating. Degenerating means destroying. Only 1 will be remain there. 3 of them degenerate and 1 divides to form embryos. Here 4 are saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 3 are degenerating and 1 remains to form the embryos. Each embryo of sac has a thick cell called egg apparatus. Egg apparatus. This is egg apparatus. Egg apparatus. In egg apparatus, 1 egg is there. In egg apparatus, 1 egg is there and 3 antipodal cells are there. 1 egg is there and 2 synergids are there. 1 egg is there, 2 synergids, 3 antipodal cells. These 3 are the antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei. 2 polar nuclei, 3 antipodals and 3 antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei and egg apparatus. Egg apparatus. This is the egg apparatus and these 3 are the antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei. The polar nuclei eventually fuse to produce a secondary nucleus. 2 are there. These polar nuclei are 2 in number. Afterwards, what will be happen? This fuse together to form a secondary nucleus. Secondary. So 3 structures are there. This one is the egg apparatus and these 3 are the antipodals and 2 polar nucleus. Afterwards, this polar nuclei fuse to produce a secondary nucleus. Pollen grains are dispersed by the anthers and carried over the other agencies to the stigma of a pistil called the pollination. Pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissues of stigma and style and reach the ovule. The pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissues of stigma, style and reach the ovule. The pollen tubes enter the embryo sac. The pollen tube enter the embryo sac, where 2 male gametes are discharged. The 2 male gametes are discharged. And the pollen tube, see the 2 male gametes. These are the 2 male gametes. 1, these 1, 2. These are the 2 male gametes. These 2 male gametes, this is the diagram of pollen tube entering into the female gamete of height and fuses with the egg. These 2 nucleus fuses with the egg to form the zygote. From zygote, embryo will be developed. So 1 male gamete, 2 are entering. From that 1 male gamete fuses with the egg cell to form zygote, and 1 more male gamete is there that is fusing with the secondary nucleus. This one fused to secondary nucleus to produce triploid primary endosperm. Because of the involvement of two fusions are there. This event is carried double fertilization. It is an event unique to angiosperms. So because of the involvement of two fusions, this event is called a double fertilization. Two fertilization took place because in pollen tube two nucleus was there. Out of that one nucleus combined with the egg apparatus, egg to form zygote. Other nucleus combined with that two polar nucleus combined to form secondary nucleus to form the endosperm. So two fertilization takes place. So it is called a double fertilization. It is an event unique to angiosperms. Zygote develop into an embryo with one or two cotyledons. Zygote develop into an embryo with one or two cotyledons. Pen develops into endosperm. Primary endosperm nucleus. Develops into endosperm, which provide nourishment to the developing embryo. Synergids and antipodals degenerate after fertilization. During this event, ovary develop into seed and ovule develop into fruit. During this event, ovary develop into seeds and ovum develop into fruit. The seeds are enclosed by the fruits. That is the main characteristic of angiosperm. So seed is, this one is the seed. Seed is enveloped by fruit. So gymnosperm only we had named in this one. One more time I will show the angiosperm. Angiosperms, flowering plants only, divided into two monocot and dicot. The range of plant see that is small Wolfio, microscopic only, to eucalyptus, that is 100 meters. It is divided into two dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Have two dicotyledon characteristic only. These three are the characteristics of dicotyledon. Have two cotyledon in seeds, reticulate venation, tetramerous or pentamerous. And next one is that monocotyledon have only one cotyledon, parallel venation in leaves, trimerous flowers, 3 members in each flower. Flower is the reproductive structure. Male sex organ in a flower is called stamen. This is the diagram of stamen only. Stamen diagram consists of a filament. See the filament here, filament and the anther. Within anthers, the pollen mother cell divides by meiosis to produce microspores which mature into pollen grain. This is the female sex organ in the flower is pistil. It consists of a swollen ovary. At its base, a long slender style and stigma. Ovary contains ovules. An ovule has a megaspore mother cell that undergoes meiosis to form 4 haploid megaspores. 3 of them degenerate and 1 divides to form embryo sac. 3 of them degenerate and 1 divides to form embryo sac. Each embryo sac has egg apparatus. This is the egg apparatus. And these are the antipodals. And these two are the central cell, two polar nuclei. 3 structures are there. Afterwards, these polar nuclei combine together to form secondary. Pollen grains dispersed to the anthers and carried out or other agencies to stigma of a pistil. It is called pollination. The pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissues of stigma, style and reach the pollen tubes enter the embryo sac where 2 male gametes are discharged. One male gamete fuses with the egg cell to form zygote. 2 are entering. One fuses with the egg cell to form the zygote, and other fuses with the secondary nucleus to form the endosperm, primary endosperm nucleus. Pen means primary endosperm. So, 2 fertilization takes place here. So, it is called a double fertilization. From that, the zygote develop into embryo and the primary endosperm nucleus develop into endosperm. Synergid and antipodal degenerate after fertilization. So, during this event, ovary converted into Ovary converted into fruit and ovule converted into seed only. Ovary converted into fruit. This is the fruit. The ovary converted into fruit and ovule converted into seed. Understood. So I think that you understood. Now we have learned the angiosperms. On the next topic, we will discuss in the next plant life cycle and alternation of generation. We will discuss after. Already I had sent this clips to you. Slide already I had sent for lesson number 3. All of you have to see from the slides so, and make the notes from that because important points already had discussed there. Life cycle also. This all diagram also you have to draw. These diagrams you have to draw into the book along with the answers. So, two type of generation are there, gametophytic generation, sporophytic generation that we will learn after this. So I think that all of you understood this one.